Lord Vishnu, has this 10 avatars or 10 avatars. So similarly, AI is not one technology, but it is like a technology that's horizontal, applications across each of those spheres that you mentioned.
The fact that technology is now in the hands of common people, normal people, not just programmers and engineers.
Entry-level engineers will actually have to pay to get a job. Synthetic data labeling, preparing data link. So we already had all the skills, all the systems in place, but that industry hasn't come to India, it is doing outside of India.
Today on my podcast, we have a very eminent personality from the field of technology and AI, Kashyap Kompella, who's the CEO of RPA to AI. He's a researcher, professor, author, and runs a consultancy which advises global companies, venture capitalists in the field of technology, AI, teaches across the board. So one of the great minds to pick on the evolution of AI and its impact on humanity, individuals, and businesses. Kashyap, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Dheeraj. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to our chat today.
I wanted to start with the positives of AI. What are the large systemic positives that you feel that AI is bringing to humankind, to individuals, corporates, and businesses?
Absolutely. That's a great note to start on. So I have this theory, a sort of a construct which says that Lord Vishnu, has this 10 avatars or 10 avatars. So similarly, AI is not one technology, but it is like a technology that's horizontal, applications across each of those spheres that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So it wears multiple hats or avatars, ranging from like predictor, optimizer, recommender. So these are the things that we're normally used to, which is like it is helping remove slack or waste from different ways. So that is something. But now more recently, what we are seeing is AI donning its avatar of a creator.
Yeah.
As an artist. So among the multiple avatars that is possible, the one that I'm really excited about is as an educator.
Yeah.
Because maybe all of us spend nearly about 20 years of our life in schools and colleges and different institutions.
Yeah.
But most of it is unhappy. Right. It's all about one size fits all. Everybody is force-fit into a different curriculum. We've always had these dreams of personalizing learning for everybody. And now I think that is possible with AI.
Amazing.
So different learning paths, different curriculum, different needs. It is possible. I think in marketing, you're a marketer, you know, it's like personalization at scale.
Yeah, it's
so now that has a huge impact.
Yeah.
If we do that in education. So that really excites me a lot, and that's probably going to, you talked a little bit about the anxieties and worries. So if we get that right, everything else will follow.
Oh, amazing. So at a more fundamental level, we will be able to give educational feeds to the audience of one in times to come?
It is possible even now, not in times to come, but now the onus is on you.
Yeah, correct.
You have to do it. Our systems, our structures that are in place, the processes don't let you do that yet.
Right.
So the onus is on you or in your families or the companies. But eventually, the systems move a little slow. But we're going to get to that place.
Amazing, amazing. No, Vishnu is a great metaphor of everything positive. And of course, with positive comes the negative, right? What are the 2 or 3 large, say, destructive or negative watch-outs of this technology that we should be mindful of? I mean, for example, say social media, people are saying the more you're close, the less you're close, right? I mean, doom scrolling and so on and so forth. So every technology has its own kind of an impact, and sometimes they're not as positive. What are the negative impacts of AI that humanity, individuals, businesses should be watchful of?
That's again, with AI, I mean, it's complicated.
Yeah.
So there is a certain duality of AI that is there.
Yeah.
So now I talked about Vishnu, let's talk about Ravana here. Like Ravana has 10 heads. So AI also rears its ugly heads in many ways. Something that gives me pause, which you alluded to, which to the audience of our podcast that will be relevant is AI as sort of a creative destructor of jobs. So that is one thing that we can talk about.
Yeah.
And the second thing is again this AI as a deceiver, as a manipulator. I'm saying AI as, but AI tools in the hands of the wrong people.
Yes.
They can be used to manipulate.
So the whole fake news and all of that.
The information. The information silos. Like increasingly, if you look at what's happening in the society, you know this more than I do. You're a marketer. But in general, because each person is becoming an island in themselves.
Yeah.
So we are retreating into our echo chambers, and AI will help you personalize that also for you.
Yeah.
So that's
further personalized echo chambers.
Echo chambers.
Yes.
Each of us will live on our own, virtual realities or make-believe realities.
Yeah.
Some of those aspects that you're saying, but the solutions to that probably don't lie in technology.
Yeah.
The solutions to problems that technology creates, in this case or in any other case, lie outside of technology.
So they lie with society.
They lie with society. They lie with the government. They lie with the families.
The
they lie with all the
structures.
institutions.
Yeah, interesting. So, Kashyap, help us understand how momentous or how epochal is this change? Is this, would you liken the advent of AI to, say, the advent of World Wide Web? Would you liken it to, as somebody say, AI is electricity? Is it man discovering fire? I don't know. What is the scale or momentousness of this change? Or are we overplaying this? Is this going to be like metaverse? It came and it went away.
No, I think... So let's sort of step outside of the AI lens for a minute. But we are living in a world of superabundance, particularly digital superabundance.
Yeah.
So I have like 5 devices with me, like from these glasses which can answer questions, which can broadcast to things, etc. These meta glasses, to the watch here, to the earpods, to phones, etc. So that I have 5 devices with me which are all capable of accessing super powerful AI models, and they're running local AI models in themselves.
Wow.
So this really is that moment for us. So you have access to the world's largest music library. For a little bit fraction of the cost, all the books ever written, all the movies, all the rich content that's ever produced. So this is really that age of digital superabundance.
Yeah.
All of it has been made possible because of AI. But AI is like you don't want to think of AI as like a distinct from the web or something like that. So the web.
So not a point in time. You're saying it's a continuous.
The web, the smartphone, and then comes the AI, which is building on top of all of these things. And the change, like you said, is it like, are we ascribing too much importance? So that change is going to come first to digital business models, digital content, to our digital lives, which increasingly is a large part of our lives.
Yeah, almost everything, shopping, work, everything's moved fairly digital.
Love, employment.
Yeah,
a lot of it is like digitally intermediated, etc. So that's this notion of there are like invisible algorithms around us which are dictating what we do.
Yeah.
So Kashyap, you were discussing that this is not the first wave of AI. You've seen 3 or 4 waves of AI. So just quickly take us through what were the other waves. Because your point is not a point in time. It's a continuous kind of development and evolution that technology is going through.
So there are AI waves, broadly called as AI winters and summers. So when there is a lot of excitement about the possibilities of AI, that's called a summer.
Yeah.
So there is the hype. And once the hype settles on a bit, people are more realistic about what AI can do. That's called an AI winter. So I have seen at least like in the last 30 years, 3 AI waves. I'm sure there are more before that. The first was when this whole like neural networks.
Yeah.
Or this logic of fuzzy logic of machines doing intelligent things, etc.
Yeah.
So that I heard first time in 1995. So in fact, we actually did a course in the undergrad about AI then. Okay. So that was the first wave, which I didn't pay much attention to. But the second wave was around 2010 or so. And all of this is also enabled because there is a lot of phones, a lot of computers, a lot of digitizations. AI, thrives on data. And a lot of that data became available in the period between 2000 to 2010, etc. And it's still continuing. So that's when you started hearing about these predictions of we're going to have robot taxis on the roads, where these radiologists are going to be eliminated because AI is good at all of these things. None of them have come to pass, by the way.
Yeah.
So when we talk about like what this wave of AI is going to do, we also need to have that historical perspective.
Yeah.
But this wave of AI, which really started in 2022, end of 2022 when ChatGPT was released, is the first wave where what AI can do is actually put into the hands of the common people.
Yeah.
So ChatGPT roughly has about 800 million users, monthly users right now.
Yeah.
That's staggering.
Yeah.
Previously, it was limited to maybe about 10-15 million people who were thinking about AI, what models will we build, etc. So now you have these incredibly powerful capabilities that are in the hands of the common people, but they're also in the hands of the CEOs and the boards. They're living through times.
Going around which says that the CEOs of today are saying, what was something with AI? What with AI we don't know, but we want it now.
Correct. So that's actually the wrong way to approach, which is like good for experimentation.
Right.
So I don't know if you have seen this, but there is this report going around, which from MIT, which says that 95% of the AI projects are not meeting their objectives.
Yes. Yeah.
And that is exactly because of this technology first approach.
Right.
Because if you have AI, if you try to force fit AI into everything,
Yeah. Like let's
it
do
will
something
lay-
with AI, dot. Yeah.
But I still think that there is value, because this is one technology.
Yeah.
It's like you can't learn swimming by reading a book, or you can't learn bicycling by like watching a video.
Yeah.
So here, these are technologies, specifically this wave of AI technologies, generative AI technologies, are something that you have to experiment. You have to try out. So there is, you have to put it as part of your company's learning budget or company's innovation budget, etc. But any new technology takes a few years,
Yeah.
if not decades, for it to be completely becoming mainstream.
Yeah.
And this also, when I was reflecting about that MIT, I'm going to take this in a slightly nerdy direction.
Yeah.
So a little bit of process. So there is a Nobel Prize winning economist called Robert Solow. So he won a Nobel Prize in 1987 for his theory of productivity. So one of his seminal works is about the paradox of IT, which is that similarly we were investing in technology, like massive investments in technology, digitization, etc. in the previous generations.
Yes.
So all of that massive investments did not show up in productivity improvements. So he had a quip, he said that IT is showing up everywhere except in productivity statistics. Okay. So like that, the same thing we're going to. And why is that? That is because there is a lag. We don't measure correctly.
Sure.
We don't know what exactly do we want to do with the technology where we're playing around, etc. So there is definitely a lag.
Yeah.
And another angle to this paradox, like I said, 800 million people are using.
Yeah.
It's easy for anybody who plays with this technology to see that there is an incredible amount of individual productivity gains that are possible. It's a no-brainer. Anybody who's used ChatGPT or image creation, etc. So now how do you make the leap from that individual productivity gains to team productivity, to business metrics, to profitability ultimately? So that link is not clearly established. And that again is because the way we work, they hadn't anticipated intelligent robots. They hadn't anticipated a ChatGPT when we design our workflows, when we design our business process, etc.
Yeah. So it needs to then back engineer the processes and the workflows and all of that for it to be usable.
Or that disruption, in economic terms, is called creative disruption, is going to come from create, like say, faster, nimbler competitors.
Right.
Who start with a clean slate.
So different kinds of organizations.
Different kinds of organizations. So I mean, and this is again a little bit of a techie thing. But there are a lot of large banks. Some of the largest companies in the world use mainframes.
Right. Yes.
But if there is a new bank that has started, a fintech company that comes in, nobody uses mainframes any longer. So they come and they're able to move faster, etc. But mainframes still remain, and those are some of our largest things. So what's your strategy, what's your roadmap for AI? Depends on where you're at, what's your current state. Again, in economics, this is called path dependence.
Yes.
The decisions you will take, your strategies you will follow will be path dependent. And that is the reason why this productivity paradox is showing up. Because if it works for one company, doesn't necessarily mean to work for another. That's it.
Because the workflows, the systems,
not be a business model, the operating model, the people skills.
Productivity. No, very interesting points, Kashyap. You were saying that the difference in this round is that the skill of data has changed dramatically in 2020s and so on and so forth. And the fact that technology is now in the hands of common people, normal people, not just programmers and engineers. And those are the two big changes. But you make a very interesting point that, new systems may emerge, new workplaces with different kind of workflows will be more at advantage to use something like AI. And it may not be so easy for legacy systems to rework their workflows and get productivity advantages from a technology such as AI or other technologies as well. Now, if you were to, give a sense of which segments or categories or spheres of life, Kashyap, do you think will get impacted dramatically and very, very soon, say with 2-year, 3-year time frame? What are those?
Fantastic. So, like I said, we've discussed different waves of AI. What is different, what is also different this time is where the advances in AI are faster compared to other fields. So this is something that we didn't think, people who are following the industry. It is happening in white-collar professions. So I have a saying which says that AI is collar blind. So we thought like we were going to automate factory floors, manufacturing operations, the core infrastructure sectors. But now we're actually seeing that it is easier to integrate AI into professional white-collar work. So in that context, I think it is going to make an impact in 4Cs, what I call 4Cs, given the strengths of the current technologies that we have. We have to revisit this every year. The first C is content and marketing.
Wow, you hit right at home.
No, I think that this is a fantastic opportunity for advertisers, and that's one of my things. We'll come back to that. The second thing is really around consulting. Third is customer support. Fourth is coding. And these are all pretty big multi-billion-dollar industries.
Yes.
Each of them is like at least a $200 billion industry. So between these 4Cs, we are talking about a $1 trillion industry globally.
Yeah. So this is interesting. Let's talk a bit more about this, Kashyap. So there's so much conversation about prompt engineering.
Correct.
Right? Now, I don't know, will prompt engineering become such a deep specialization, or would the newer formats be so easy and so user-friendly? It'll be like, chatting on WhatsApp. I don't know. So a bit of a sense on where is the skills required for future headed, and how will AI impact that?
So there are already studies that show that the entry-level job market is getting a little bit upset. I mean, is getting impacted.
Wow.
And the same thing is happening at the other end of the spectrum, which is like people who are like around middle-aged, thing, etc. So if you previously thought a career is going to last from 20 years to 60 years, so now there could be a little bit of a shock. And I don't want to alarm anybody, but one of the hypotheses that I have is 25 to 45 is the new career age. So a short window of 20 years. So there is a Stanford study which came out, which actually documented this. This came out only this week, which said that we're already seeing the impact of these AI technologies. And that is not new, okay? We were talking about history before.
Yeah.
In the 15th century, this kind of apprenticeship, paying somebody to give you an entry job, was a norm. So Leonardo da Vinci went to a master craftsman in Florence, and his family paid for him to get trained, learn the tricks of the trade, etc., the tools of the trade. So we may be entering that scenario again.
Yeah.
So you may not, we have an industry where a lot of campus recruitment happens. Bulk of the entry-level employment in India happens through campuses, etc. So actually, they may be actually having to pay companies to get to those things. So that's a slightly controversial thing. Like engineers, entry-level engineers will actually have to pay to get a job.
Interesting.
Because the competition with this cohort is quite high. I'll give you an example. So sorry, this is a little bit long-winded, but we need to understand the different levers. So we talk about AI agents.
Yeah.
So when agents are sold, they're sold as like end-to-end automation technologies, which like book your flight, make your flight reservations, book your hotel, make your travel plans, etc. Sure, you can do a little bit of that. But the most advanced agent that we have right now is called something known as a deep research. Deep research agents that are available with Gemini, that are available with ChatGPT, etc. So what they do, they're available, like let us say, in the paid plans. In India, Perplexity Pro gives a little bit of an access to that through an Airtel subscription. But deep research for $200 a month, you get 250 queries of deep research queries, and each of them can generate a 25 to 30 page deeply researched report for you.
Wow.
So I'll give you an example from the US. So the Trump administration is currently there. Before that, there was the Biden administration.
Yes.
So what the Biden administration did on AI, what their national AI roadmap was, is different from what President Trump is doing right now.
Yeah.
So I have a sort of, but I can't keep track of what is happening, what are the minutiae changes. Given this background, I can ask deep research to say what has changed, what hasn't changed, how will this impact, what are the impact of organizations. So that report comes back to me in like 15 minutes.
So some of that will change.
So that is like a very calculation
or
information, what kind of skills it ties to entry-level jobs. So this is something that somebody who is working in my team, in my research organization, would take like probably a week to put together that report.
Yeah.
But now I'm able to get that. And there is this notion that it hallucinates. There these technologies that we have hallucinate, etc. But with the newer versions of the models, that is gone away because you get citations and you can specify what kind of sources you're looking for, etc. So that's going to be a big impact. It goes back to house. But more importantly, what is going to happen is if you think of an organization structure, think of a pyramid.
Yeah.
Right? There are junior employees who are going to sort of do their apprenticeship and come to the top like you did.
Yes.
But now to be able to use the kind of scenarios that I described, to be able to use deep research, you need a little bit of an experience.
Yes.
Which means the shape of the organization is no longer a pyramid like this, but it's probably going to be a diamond.
Interesting.
So then where is, like, how are you going to become a diamond shaped organization if these people are not growing.
The bottom is narrow, yeah.
So that's why I'm saying like maybe entry-level jobs will need a different kind of a model. So that is thing. Coming back to prompting.
Yeah.
Prompting is always important.
Yeah.
You may not be able to make a career out of it, but
yes,
becoming an expectation out of
it. Skill to
have. It's going to be like learning to drive.
Yeah.
So so driving is like a skill only for some folks. It's not like a skill for everybody. So prompting is going to be important, but everybody probably benefits from knowing driving because they can have flexibility, they can go, etc. Because the AI tools that we have and that I see us having in the next few years are not going to facilitate end-to-end automation broadly.
Right.
So there needs to be that human curation, human input, human instructing the AIs. That is prompting. You may call it prompt engineering, you may call it context engineering. But think of it as like, how do we instruct AI? How do we speak AI's language to get the best outputs?
Yeah.
If AI was truly powerful, truly intelligent, we wouldn't need that.
Yeah.
But we will need that. And what's also interesting is what happens at the other end.
Yeah.
Like we talked about skills. So AI auditors. So I'm India's first certified AI auditor.
Wow. Okay.
So how do you sort of verify the outputs is like one kind of AI auditing. But what goes in between, in that black box, what is happening? Is it, according to how it should be, like following responsible AI principles, etc. Does it meet with regulatory responses?
Something you talked about was very interesting, Kashyap, because you were saying that it's not end-to-end, it's mid-to-mid. So there's still need for human intervention at the outset of it and at the end of it for somebody to check what you've got, is it useful, does it have to go back to the cycle? So it's reordering of the kind of skills required rather than completely doing away with them. Is that a fair way to look at it?
Yeah, I think completely doing away with is like a very naive assumption.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the news, for example, like let's forget AI for a minute, but in the news industry, dog bites man, not news. Yeah, maybe not these days, but but man bites dog is news.
Yes. Yeah.
So AI improving your productivity by 30%, that is not news.
Right.
But AI eliminating jobs is
it becomes news. Yeah.
AI doing something. Correct. So that goes on with AI as well. Right?
Yeah. In terms of creativity, right? And that's what we do in marketing and advertising. And there's a huge debate where, as you say, one side is saying that, is this copy written by AI? I mean, for example, in our business, we're already using image generation. We have produced and produced more and more output films which are coming completely from AI. So we're already getting to that stage. Of course, we have to navigate the legalities and all of that around it. The question really is that if AI is just pattern recognition and it's just churning the same pattern back at you, then will this lead to a huge overload of trashy content on the world rather than true creativity, which is liberating and powerful? What would be your sense on that?
I think the term for this is called, again from another context, enshittification. Okay, I'm not sure if we can use words like that in your show, but
I think agency podcast.
So, and more commonly known as slop.
Yeah.
So the bulk of the content that like AI is called like average intelligence. So it is remixing a lot of existing content. Yeah. So it's like a DJ versus an original musician.
Yes.
I mean, DJs are very useful. They perform a certain function.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're thinking of music as only being done by DJs.
Yeah.
So at some point of time, we are going to run out of content that already has been created, original content that already has been created.
Yeah.
So when the AI slop that's already happening is coming into the training models of AI.
Yeah.
So think of it like a sugarcane juice, ganna ka juice. So you can put it through the machine, some juice comes out. Next time you put it, comes out. But at some point in time, you're not going to get any more distinct types.
Yeah.
So that happens with content. There is only so much you can wring out of data, signal. So that's where we're at. But if you look at AI creativity, AI art, it has its fans, but to me it feels like it's flat.
Yeah.
So what we really want out of art is somebody who has experienced the human condition as humans.
Yes.
So in the South, if you see, like say actors are larger than life. So if you go to a Rajinikanth movie,
of course,
that's like a celebration of life itself. There are people who are queuing in. So nobody is going to feel that passionately for what do we say, AI generated art.
Yeah.
It'll have its like NFTs, for example.
Yes.
We saw this like broadly digital.
It just went away, right?
So there was some like motive attached to economic incentives, so people were interested in it. But as art itself, it has a very small niche.
Yeah.
So true art is going to come from the human experience.
Yeah.
Because we want like the artist's pain, the creativity.
So that pure creativity is not going away.
It's not going to go away.
What will change in our business, for example? What should we, if as an outsider, you would comment on our business of creativity and advertising? What change should we brace for?
I think one is like changing the frame of reference to say AI is a storyteller. AI is not a storyteller, but AI is a storyteller's assistant.
Yes.
So how do we use it? Like I mean, we talked about creativity.
Yeah.
So you want to be spending your time, your team's time on understanding the customer, understanding the needs of their end customer. What are those aspects? Instead of trying to do like, let's say, trying different versions of the same copy, etc. So you use AI tools which are like strong point of AI.
Yeah.
For example, AI may be very good at generating a lot of alternatives. So I'll tell you, for example, when I'm trying to come up with titles for my books, I start playing around with AI. There are like 100 titles that I keep playing around with, ultimately the things. But it turns out that I end up choosing what I want or what I had in mind rather than another thing after eliminating all this. So play around with that.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. And a lot of pressure you will face from outside the industry, from like the senior management, everybody who's reading the newspaper headlines saying AI can do this, why are we not using this?
Yes.
So to be able to push back, to be able to actually advise your clients better, you need to actually play around with the tools.
Yes.
So have an open mind, understand the possibilities of today.
Yeah.
And the field is changing very fast.
Yeah.
So you want to understand the possibilities 6 months down the road.
Yeah.
So keep checking every few months to see if you can use it in your workflows. So for the next few years, we will continue doing what we're doing.
Kashyap, do you have a sense of how will this impact business models which are based on time cost pricing models, right? For example, in advertising, there's a huge debate that we should not actually be pricing our work on time cost. We should be pricing our work on the basis of output. But unfortunately, a lot of our pricing model right now is time cost based, as is consultancy, as it law, where you've written a book. What's your point of view? Because clients are saying, oh, this is AI driven, this is faster, charge us less.
Correct.
Right? So any sense on that will help?
So there are 3 models basically: input driven, output driven, outcome driven.
Yeah.
So outcome driven is sort of a little out of the way because it's tough to measure that causal link between one input into the thing and finding out business outcomes, etc. But between input and output, I think it's going to be a hybrid model. So if clients have an expectation, I don't know as much about the advertising industry, but I can talk about the technology industry.
Yeah.
If clients have an expectation that their service providers or their partners use AI to increase productivity and pass on some of the benefits.
Yeah.
So that's a reasonable expectation, and that's actually baked into the business models.
Sure.
So every year, if you look at the pricing models,
of course,
there is a cost of living increase, which there is also a productivity in a sort of a multi-year arrangement baked.
Yeah.
It was not AI before, it was digital, it was something else before.
Yes.
So now there is this expression, that's a reasonable expectation. But from an output based, I would urge clients to be a little cautious because it's easy to generate so much output you can generate output in different formats using AI.
But it might be useless.
So you sort of have to be careful about the construct you want to put in place.
Interesting.
And each profession will vary differently. If you take architecture, it's a very heavily licensed profession.
Yeah.
If you take auditors, again, very heavily licensed professions, actuaries, lawyers.
Yeah.
So the billing hour has this licensure and regulatory.
Sure. So some of those is not going away.
Correct. So in the US, we have this concept of lawyerless legal firms.
Yeah, wow.
So the US Supreme Court has actually given permission, not the US Supreme Court, the Arizona Supreme Court has given permission for one of the big 4 firms to open a law firm which does not offer like directly legal services, but somewhere supports around that types.
Interesting.
So the technology is not going to be like the sole factor which is deciding.
Yeah.
But all the other licensing rules, regulation, etc. will. But in advertisement, I think there is no such licensing requirements.
Yeah. Let's come to India as a context, Kashyap. How do you think India should and will respond to this? Like, it's like I was talking to somebody who's building a social media platform in India, and the founders telling me that Dheeraj, in India we build for 1 billion, but if you build for globally, like Meta does or like Google does, they build for 8 billion people, and therefore their ability to monetize is much larger than when you build large-scale technology platforms just for India. So from that perspective, do you think in India we are better off working on the current models and frugal engineering, build layers on top of that, just use it? Or should India be investing in ground-up, large-scale LLMs? Is there a need? Is there a direction for India to go?
From an India point of view, AI is becoming I'm talking more about the country point of view, not like individual entrepreneurs. From a country point of view, each country needs to have its own sovereign LLMs. Because what you can generate, if you take all of these AI technologies, integrate them into our business processes, integrate them into our or say workflows, etc. It's very easy to turn it off.
Wow.
It's very easy to turn it off. And because we don't know really like what's going on with technology.
From a security perspective, say,
from a national interest point of view, it is important. Because even now, like if you look at who has the best AI translation models for Indian languages, that is not Indian companies.
Yeah.
So these actually should be like public, part of public digital commons, funded or subsidized by the government without other. And also if you look at, I mean, there are different angles to this. We can spend like the entire podcast on India's AI strategy. But there is one threat which we need to understand is that the IT services industry, where in Bangalore and the IT services industry is like $250 billion for us. The knowledge processing, the GCC, I mean, these are included.
Yes.
So a lot of these sectors probably are going to see an impact from the global operating models, the offshoring model, outsourcing models are going to sort of see a significant shift in the coming years.
Wow.
Because of the changing geopolitics as well, etc. So we also lost the opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's again a little bit of a nerdy digression. So Meta, I mean, there is a lot of antitrust regulation going on in the US, but because of they have bought a company called Scale AI for 49% stake, $14 billion. Let's say $25 to $30 billion valuation for Scale AI. Also an acqui-hire sort of a thing for the guy who leads that. So now that is India's core strength, synthetic data labeling, preparing data link. So we already had all the skills, all the systems in place, but that industry hasn't come to India, it is doing outside of India. So there's an opportunity that is that. So any AI strategy that we talk about also has to be how do we protect these big industries that we have? How do we capitalize on the industries? Because in the next 5 years, AI systems are not going to build themselves. It is going to involve a lot of billable hours, output-based models, etc. So we need to sort of, the public sector, the private sector, enable from the skill mix, from the colleges, etc. So that we don't lose this crown jewel, which is our technology services industry.
Yes.
So sovereign AI strategy, what use cases? So I was doing a course, this is a passionate subject for me, so I'm going on for longer. So I was teaching for one state governments, fellows, the CM fellows as they call it, they were going and within different districts of that state and working with the local grassroots small business people and entrepreneurs. So how can they use AI to market their businesses better, to grow their businesses? So when we talked about at the beginning, democratization. So it is possible also to give that power, to teach them prompting, to teach the tools of how they can use.
Yes.
So they can actually reach wider audiences, grow their businesses.
For sure.
So there needs to be a different kind of a horses for courses strategy.
But we don't need our own sense, as you're saying, in our own strategy for AI. We can't just depend on other people to create it for us.
I will ask you a Trump question, I mean, sort of a question that will stump you.
Yes.
Okay. In your native language, for example,
Yes.
what is a neural network called?
I wouldn't know.
No, right? So we have to go to that level.
Yes.
And say create that standard corpus of scientific and technical terms, and then say, okay, we may not translate neural network, for example.
Yeah, but at least theory must.
And so a lot of groundwork needs to be. It's doable. We can use AI and do it. It's definitely doable. So I also had this suggestion, which I think was mentioned in the Mint a few years ago. We need to have the Indian digital service. So India has a very strong public digital infrastructure because of the likes of Nilekani, because of the likes of Ram, Sevak Singh, etc.
UPI system is working.
So we need to have those kind of Nilekanis and Ram Sevak Singh. I think. Yep. I'm sorry if I'm getting his name wrong, but we need to take them to each of the districts. So we need to have the local versions of all of these public and private sector coming together to make this happen.
Interesting. Very interesting. This has been a great conversation. But before I let you go, last question. So, what are the things which are coming up in next horizon, like say 6 months, 1 year? We just have ChatGPT, agentic AI is becoming big. Anything new coming up?
So I think what we haven't talked about, which is an exciting area which people should follow, is really about robots.
Yeah.
So so that there are fascinating things happening. Like ChatGPT is a large language model for our business content purposes. Similarly, there are like protein large language models. Because for AI, everything is text, everything is input, like ultimately the tokens.
Yeah.
So can you do? It's not probably going to happen in the next 6 months.
Sure.
But it's going to take longer. Protein large language models, domain specific large language models. So AI is going to play that innovator role. AI is going to play that healer role.
Yeah.
AI is going to play that educator role. So that is something. And the opportunity for us is really to say, has AI taken my job? Or has AI taken my job to the next level?
Interesting, very interesting, Kashyap. Thank you so much, and thank you for the framework of Vishnu and Ravana, right? I mean, accurately conceptualizes the idea of AI. Thank you so much for this conversation.